Hey guys, what's up? Dex here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the competitive scene and potential esports growing in Overwatch. So pretty much if you've been on the internet for the last week, it would have been hard for you to miss that Overwatch has been released. If you've kept up with my content personally, I've been tweeting about it. I've also been uploading gameplays to my YouTube channel that you may have caught. A lot of them were live gameplays. Haven't done a whole lot of commentary yet, but I do have some ideas for things I can do with Overwatch content moving forward. If you haven't watched much on it, basically Overwatch is a new FPS title from Blizzard. They've basically created their own genre of an FPS though. It's not like just your traditional Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, or Halo that other people have thought. It's similar to a playstyle of a MOBA, but in first-person form. So it's kind of like League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, which is also a Blizzard game, but it's in first person. So it's pretty awesome to see how they take in FPS, mix it with the strategic elements of a MOBA, with the team composition, certain numbers of heroes, having ultimate abilities and whatnot. And it's really fun game to play. The balancing within the game has potentially set it up to have a really nice starting point for a future competitive game that could possibly compete with other large esports that are already like in the front of like the esports scene. One of the most unique things about the potential for this competitive scene is that it doesn't have to be developed completely from scratch. There's been so many different players that have flocked to the Overwatch from other games. Former Quake pros, Team Fortress pros, Battlefield, Counter-Strike players, people who play Call of Duty, all kinds of other titles. With Overwatch having months of beta testing, the competitive scene for Overwatch isn't just beginning. It was almost inevitable for it to blossom from this style of game. The question will be, can Overwatch make it as the next esports title? The competitive scene is currently made up of players who can tell you firsthand that not all games can be played competitively, and even the ones that can are not always able to support a huge competitive scene that can rival other games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Dota, Call of Duty. So building a successful esports game won't be easy, but I really think Overwatch has a great chance having the support from Blizzard. They kind of have an idea of what they're doing, so I don't think that they'll really get left behind in that sense. One of the main things is that it's simply the size of the player base right now. Overwatch had almost 10 million people play before the game was even released for the beta. Like that's unreal. Other games don't even achieve that. I was only able to participate during the open beta, but there was still a large number of people that have been playing for months that were invited into the private beta. So that's huge. But regardless of that, the level of public interest is just a starting point far beyond what most games can usually hope for. The more people play in the game, the better chance for it having a potential to be a successful esports community, and it just allows it to have more of an opportunity for even casual viewers to want to tune into the streams, to want to follow the competitive scene and all that jazz. That level of public interest is almost far beyond what some games can usually hope for. So obviously, like the more people play in the game, the better chance for having a potential for a successful esports community to blossom within it. It's a naturally competitive game with a high skill ceiling, so that gives players something that they can really work for. They can work on improving their skills and all that jazz. In the future, Blizzard's also implementing the competitive matchmaking system, which I know a lot of us are going to look forward to playing that. And that's going to bring in the casual players into the competitive scene. Like they're going to not want to play with random people all the time. They're going to want to team up, go match against other competitive players, competitive style players, and see where they stand. The concept of playing Overwatch competitively should be familiar to like the vast majority of the player base, especially from like Blizzard's part. Like if they can push it kind of onto people and let them get exposed to it, that'll really help drive that. You know, I understand like esports can't be forced on players, it can't be forced on communities, but at least giving them the exposure to it and the ability to get matched up and compete within it really has a chance to grow their whole brand as the esports game. Honestly, I feel like so far what they're doing is working. The established esports community has taken note of the success that Overwatch has had. We've seen high quality streams for tournaments and leagues that have been operated with consistency. So I really feel like the launch has had some pro players from other established games really taking note and giving further attention to what's going on within Overwatch, and it's really growing the audience of who all is tuning into what's going on. With all of that being said, although Overwatch has a lot going for it, there's no guarantee it'll be a successful esports title. The game is not perfected yet, although it's still the early days for Overwatch, so we can't really expect that yet. But they just have to keep in mind, you could have the greatest competitive game of all time, but if no one's interested in watching it, you'll never see success like some of these other games have had. So Blizzard really needs to keep that in mind moving forward as they're tweaking the game for competitive play, tweaking it for an audience that would want to tune in and watch these teams go head-to-head. So I think Blizzard really has their hands right where they need to be with their game, and I think we'll really see a lot coming from them going forward. So I'm really excited to see what Overwatch could grow into, and right now I'm on board with growing and moving this newer community. So I will see you guys around. I'm going to be in here hands on with it, and keep your eye on it. So all of you have a great day. Thanks for checking out the video. What's going on with esports in Overwatch. I will catch you guys later. Peace.